Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is September 12th. Little crazy day yesterday. Big gap up, fell apart. Then the market moved higher. However, I think we're just waiting for CPI. That's what it looks like to me. All right, that's what it looks like. All right, so without further ado, my name is Steven Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. I use volume profile, market profile, along with supply and demand levels, and gamma exposure levels, and the most traded price of the rolling week and the rolling year, just to give a structure in the market, not to get enticed by price action. Yesterday was a good example of the market holding the most traded price of the week in both indexes. So I used the Nasdaq, held its most traded price of the week, and then I got long Apple and rode that all the way for a nice trade yesterday. Um, Using that structure, that's how I used that structure. Okay, so we got some weakness coming in right now. But without that, subscribe. If you haven't already, set an alert. You could always give me a like. That would mean a lot. And you can follow me on Twitter at Gonzo719. All right, we get right into the watch list here. Go into the futures. And what do we have here? We have Bitcoin up 4.81%. Ether's up 0.75. The VIX is back up 2.61. Crude's up 0.84. The dollar is up 0.26. Bonds being bought, but basically flat. 10-year yield repeats at 820, so we don't see that, but that should send the 10-year yield slightly lower. Dow's down 0.15, Russell's down 0.25, ES down 2.29, Nasdaq is down 0.36. Gold, with the strength in the dollar, is down 0.67, silver's down 0.76. We can move on. Stocks I like to day trade. All right, there's Coin. Coin's our leader, up 1.69%. Probably with the Bitcoin love, crypto love, Bitcoin love, helping Coin. Okay. Apple got an event today, launching a new iPhone. Has some trouble with China. Actually, they're going to be able to make some iPhones from India, direct from India. But let's see what really happens with that event today. You know, as the more iPhones come out, they haven't been groundbreaking, so we'll have to see. I mean, and they've lost revenue. Their revenue has not gone up in, I think, 3 quarters. So let's see about that. What else? Um, I saw Baba got a price target raise, I think, believed by J.P. Morgan, up to 140. Um, Google's in some antitrust suit. But let's go to some laggards here. Um, Oracle had some bad guidance in the cloud computing, so that probably is going to not help Amazon. Okay. Uh, Google, the antitrust lawsuit I was talking about. Tesla's down 0.85. Snow, that's cloud. That's why probably most likely Snow, who's been on a big run lately, is down 1.53%. I saw Disney finally had a deal made, I guess, for their ESPN and stuff wasn't being shown on some channels, so they made a deal. Getting a little pop from that. Energy, Chevron, Exxon. There, CVS today got an upgrade. So, I mean, that's not really driving United Healthcare or Johnson and Johnson too much. Okay, and who we got as the laggard here? Salesforce. That's not a laggard. We got Qualcomm. Okay, Qualcomm. Um, Big news from they're going to continue to make Apple uh, inside their iPhones for the next, I think, 4 years. So that was big news yesterday pre-market. But now today that they're getting a little bit of weakness pre-market. And let's look at the sectors. No surprise here. We have energy leading the pack, and we have discretionary. That's Tesla. That's Amazon. That's Home Depot. We have semis following that up. Nvidia is down 0.67. Okay. And then we have technology is the weakest. Now that's the largest sector of the market. That's the largest sector of the market. About usually about 28% of the S&P 500 is technology, and that does encompass Nvidia. That does encompass Microsoft, Apple. Okay, so that is down, right? That's not going to be great. And Qs are the weakest ETF right now, the weakest index. Okay, let's get into some news here. We'll get right into it. All right, so there's the Oracle news I was talking about. Stock fell 10% after the computer software disappointed with its current revenue guidance. Okay, we got Apple, got that event. UPS, stock fell 1.2% after the delivery giant stated that its new 5-year contract covering over 340,000 Teamsters represented workers in the United States would increase wage and benefits costs at a 3.3% compound annual growth. That's sending the stock down. Now, that was sending the stock down. Now, when I gave the laggards of the top sector stocks, UPS is almost flat now. So that's kind of paired those losses. Okay, that's that. We don't have much news today. Okay, and let's see, financial juice here. Yeah, Oracle. Let's see. There's a couple things. Bank of America saying that this is Bank of America September Fund Manager Survey, first overweight in U.S. equity since August 22. Then Bank of America September Fund Manager Survey, 3 out of the 4 expected soft, no landing, and almost 30% expect no recession. That's what's been going on there. All right. That's kind of news what's going on right now. Oh, Block SQ, ticker SQ, got a buy initiated coverage rating at a price of 75. That's also decent for Block. Okay. We can get over now to the daily charts. Let's move over to those daily charts. All right, let's look at the SPY. All right, so look what we had. 3 days of selling, remember, then we gapped down, and I said that could be a reversal, right? And so far that has come to fruition, okay? Now we're above the 20, the 90 MA, and the 50. See, yesterday we opened here but pulled back to the 50-day moving average, right? That's also why I liked Apple long yesterday. Okay, that's another reason why I like to get long in Apple. Pulled right back, right? Remember, you need liquidity to make the market move. So even though we gapped up, right? When we sold off and you couldn't break the 50, okay? You couldn't break really Friday's highs. And was also holding the most traded price of the week in the ES and the Nasdaq, right? All that comes together, and it also hit a positive gamma level in Apple. See all those things come together, right? That made me want to go long in Apple. So we pretty much had a nice buying excess day yesterday. Okay. Now let's look at our express levels. We got the whites is the month. So last month we're still within last night's month. The orange is last week's highs and lows. We're in the middle of last week. Okay. Here's the previous week. We're in the middle of the previous week. So you get the point, right? What does that mean? We're inside, inside, inside. We are just kind of balancing in the middle of the muddle. Okay. That's what we got here. So we're at 447.30. So we're almost at the middle to the lower end of yesterday's range. Okay. And you can see, look to the left, balance here, right? So we're pretty much in balance, right? We're waiting for information, really, what the market's trying to do. CPIs tomorrow. Okay? Let's look at the Qs. All right? Qs had a little downtrend here. They broke yesterday. Okay, what did it do? Look what it did. It opened here, right? Came down to where? The 9 EMA daily, jumped off there, closed up here, right? That's what it did yesterday. Above the 50, above all the moving averages. Okay, we're within inside last week, we're inside the prior week, and inside last month. Again, same story. 375.70, where we're at right now, 375.70. So we're in the middle of yesterday's range. No edge there. Okay. All right, let's go to the 10-year. It just started to report. Let's look at it. Pretty much in a range, right? Right here, inside yesterday, 10-year yield is slightly down. It's down only 0.05%. Okay? And that's not what I wanted to put up there. That is not a meta short. That's called a mistake. Sorry about that. Moving on here. Let's get on to the VIX. That meta short is a mistake on my part. I meant to put on that. Alright, so let's look at the VIX. Alright, last week, highs and lows were within last week. Alright, look at last month's highs. Look how big that volatility was, and look how far down we are now, right? So inside last week as well. So even the VIX is taking a little bit of a break here. Okay, so in the dollar here, look at that right now. Right off where, right? Look at these levels. Last month's highs. Double bottomed here. So let's see if it could work itself up to 105, which is last week's highs. Okay, higher the dollar, bad for commodities, bad for equities. Okay, higher dollar, usually bad for metals as well. Okay, so have to keep an eye on that dollar. Okay, now moving on. Let's go to my best friend, the market profile. Okay, we'll get right into it. All right, so you can see we're starting to build some volume up here. So this is the weekly profile. So we're getting some volume up here, a little distribution up here. Okay, still. No, I don't say we have tons of excess. We don't at the tops and the bottoms. You see how you have a weak low here? You don't have that nice excess. Same at the top, right? You don't have that excess because why? Look at these candles up here. Well, not candles, but look at those days up there. You got that right there. So there's resistance there. Okay? So it's looking to go this way or make excess. It's got to make excess eventually. Okay, so that's how that looks. All right, now we got the most traded price of the week right here. Where's price? Price is here. We're holding above that level. As long as you hold above that level, you got to be bullish. Okay, we got a nice demand zone here. You have to be bullish. That's how the market works, okay? This is the structure. That's the structure that we need to stay above. You go under this level, it puts buyers on their backs. Okay? This level right here, what is that level? We're looking at 45.14, 45.15, call it. Okay, that's what you have to look at. Now, very important, let's check the inventory, right? We're 100% net short right now. We opened here. All this activity is short. Look where we went into, a demand zone. Okay, here's yesterday's most traded prices right here. Look, Remember, I said you got to stay above here, but this is the structure that I talk about. Okay, this is the structure. This is the foundation that's been built by the buyers. All right, so this is primed right now, I would say, for a nice little move. And this is not a big move. This is not a breakout move I'm talking about. This is if price stays down here and when you're 100% net short. Okay, you got shorts from here, shorts from here. And even if you get a little activity that goes into this demand, right, pops above, holds here, you're probably going to test up here. Okay, where did we go yesterday? Right here is an old gap. It only went into that gap a little bit and got rejected. That's why we rejected that up here. That's why I have these things on my chart. Okay, so look at yesterday. That's yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Yes, overnight high, overnight low. Check that out. Not a lot of edge because why? We're inside yesterday's range, right? However, we do have the 100% net short. Okay, so I can already see what my scenarios are going to be. Okay, now you do have something else that I like. I don't like that demand's here, but you do have, I like to call a weak low here. So here's the most traded price of yesterday, and you have the overnight low. Now, if this breaks, think about it. The most trades were transacted here, and if we break that, you could cause to come down to yesterday's lows, and that still could make a rally, but that's a weak low. Scalper, I would say scalper's paradise here. Weak low. This weak low, you could get a couple points out of that. Okay, let's get into the plan. Let's get into the ES, what we're going to look at here. All right, so if the bullish scenario, right? Bullish scenario would be you're 100% net short. So what I would like to see is a push down into this demand level, even that little pop from the weak low that I just talked about. Okay, you could even test yesterday's lows. Recovers, make some lower highs. Where you go, you probably tag yesterday's most traded price, right? Then you have the 90-MA daily in your way, monthly VWAP. You can make yourself way up here. You can come all the way back and try to possibly test yesterday's highs and fill that gap to the 50-day moving average. Okay. One other one is you can pop below here, recover the most traded price of yesterday, and also do the same thing. All right. I'm not expecting much CPIs tomorrow. I expect CPI to be a little hotter tomorrow because crude has been roaring. Okay. Crude is at $88 a barrel. All right. Okay, so that's kind of what I would look for today. Now, if you're looking for a bearish scenario, there is supply overhead here. You do have a gap. You do have the 50-day moving average. So, you could come up here, test that, and then roll over, right? Remember the weak low I talked about? Well, you have to take this demand out. So if the market comes down and breaks this demand and holds, you could make yourself down to the most traded price of the week. Now, bearish scenario, if you could take this out, well, you can move down. Okay, that's what I see for the ES. Now, like I said, for me to start looking short myself, you have to take that out. All right, moving on to the NASDAQ. Okay, let's look at our levels. Okay, look at our profile. We have a little more excess at the top here. See? Then you got a distribution here, and you don't have the best excess here, but you do have a little bit, right? Now the key, again, most traded price of the week, right here. What's that price? Happens to be the most traded price of yesterday, 155.75. Okay. Look what also is there. 50-day moving average in futures on a daily, 90-MA daily futures, monthly VWAPs right there. Okay, that's a lot of confluence. Right here. That's going to be tough for sellers to get through. Can it happen? Yes, but it makes it harder. It makes it harder. Monthly VWAP, 9 EMA daily, 50-day moving average on the daily, demand zone, most trader price of the week, and most trader price of yesterday. So that is a beautiful setup right there. Okay. Now look at inventory, 100% net short. That's even better. Okay. Price is here, 100% net short. Okay. Let's look at what we did yesterday. Here's the high. Here's the low. Okay. Here's the midpoint of yesterday. That's price. So we're not even below the 50% of yesterday. Okay. Most trader price of the overnight right here. So we're in the middle of yesterday. So like that's not huge. Okay, that's not a huge edge there. However, we know our levels. Huge level here. This is the area. That's the bull bear line, okay? So let's get into it. Now this is a great setup. Beautiful. Okay? Remember, 100% net short. So you want to see it market come down here. Test this. Pop in here. If it pops back out and starts making higher lows, we're probably going to test yesterday's highs. And there's supply here, and there's a big volume node here. Could slow it down, but if we get above that, you could make a run. Okay, that's really what I see. Okay, now as far as a bear, all right, we could, come down here and come back into here, supply or this supply, and you could roll, Then here's what has to happen. You have to take out this demand and really hold and accept levels under here to possibly go down. Okay, that's what has to happen. Now, obviously, in a day like today, waiting for tomorrow, we could balance here. Also, doesn't always got to make a move to break out or break down. Okay, all right. So that's what I see, and that was the Nasdaq. Okay, that was the Nasdaq. Now, real quickly, before I go, I just want to show you an hourly chart of what I had plotted. All right, in the ES, which is I feel very important to look at on an hourly chart, the futures chart. And let's look at that. Okay. All right. So what I want to show you guys is, all right, a couple things here. Here's this move from up here to down here in the ES, right? So what I did, I threw a Fibonacci on it. Okay. Look where the market had trouble. Right at the 50% Fibonacci. That's right there. That's 45.39 in the futures. You see how that caused resistance? That's the midpoint of this down move. Okay. Now that you could say technically might be a win for the bears. Okay. Now you can see the market starting to move up a little bit. Now, here's another move for the bulls. Okay. Because we are in an uptrend overall. Look at this trend line. Support, support. Look, support. Look where it lined up with. Demand zone. Okay. So we really have to test. Okay, that's the test here. All right, so you're underneath the 50% Fibonacci. I have an alert set there, but just be in mind, this is holding the uptrend. Okay, you can't be tantalized by price. Okay, let's look at the Nasdaq before I take off here. Okay, Nasdaq has a different story. different story here in the Nasdaq. Okay, here's the fib from the highs to the lows. Yesterday we broke the 50% Fibonacci. See that? Broke it. Now look, it's coming back to test it. Look at this trend line. Support, support, support. Notice where this trend line lines up with here. If this market can kind of fall to here, and even here, like I said, there's the point I talked about, in the bull market could turn and go like that. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that the Nasdaq is over the Fibonacci. The ES is not. Okay. So that will do it for me today. Got our plan. I really like the Nasdaq's plan. I really like it. And I really like the ES. Okay. It's really clean right now with that inventory being so oversold. Okay. So I'm really going to watch for that. So, so subscribe if you haven't. Set an alert. That would do me. That would make me happy. All right. Give me a like. That would be much appreciated. You can always follow me on Twitter at Gonzo719. All right. So we have our plan. Okay. We got our plan. Hopefully I get a little more consistent in my start times, trying to work my schedule out with my daughter. So that's the plan for today. All right. So I'll see everybody tomorrow, and look at those levels and those structure that I talked about. All right. All right, everybody. See you later.